Hi, my friends. It's East Forest. Happy to be here in support of Thank You Life and to welcome us all into this space. Sometimes it's great when we're doing things like this to start it out with a bit of ceremony and something embodied, so we can feel and get in touch with the things that are a bit beyond just what's right here in our minds. To be in touch with the unseen. But before we do that, I just want to talk about, I was thinking about how this sort of like psychedelic revolution, or whatever you want to call it, the space that we find ourselves in. You know, first, the vanguard was a bit about legality, which is important. And I think now it's a bit more about policy and use. And I hope soon the conversation moves even more into like music and the role that music plays inside this space. But of course, access is one of the leading edges, and it's critical. It's so important that this kind of work is not siloed off for just those who can afford it or want to fly off and do sorts of events overseas. I mean, we want to make this speak like the cultural languages of disparate people, and also have the means for people who are looking to do this kind of work to have that available. Because internal work is a human right. You know, it's something that it's our birthright to go within and to find the answers within. But we do want to have equal support for people to do that work. And that's where disparities exist. And so I'm excited to support this endeavor, always to help balance those scales and to help us all have available to us like the full bandwidth of the human experience and what it means to dive within. So happy to be here, and I wanted to just create a little bit of music in this way for us to drop into ourselves, like in the spirit of saying we want to support people going in. It's like, let's go within, huh? How's that sound? So I'm I'm gonna use my little digital Ragini. All right, so let's just take a couple minutes to, about 5 minutes to drop in. If you want, please find a way to be comfortable. Find a way to, find a place of repose and work out any spots in your body that maybe are holding a little energy, or you notice that one of your shoulders is a little higher, or perhaps your toes are curled in and you can release those out. And close your eyes if you want to. And just take a few breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth or nose. A couple more breaths at your pace. And as you breathe, just recognize how you can relax more. You can release into just this moment. Just noticing what's present, what you feel now. Welcome it all in. Nothing has to be pushed away. Noticing how just this mechanism of our breath it's like a technology that we carry around with us. And just by putting our attention on it, we can change our mindset, our state of being. Maybe on your exhalation, it can be slightly longer than your inhalation, and you slightly constrict the air. So we breathe in, maybe on a count of 4, and out on a 6. Breathe in on a 4, out on a 6. Keep playing around with that breathing at your pace. Wonderful. Wonderful. Notice this sensation that you feel, this any clarity, any release, and it's a remembrance, really, Let's remember this state of being and thank the wellness within that we can tap into it essentially on demand. And may we bring this forth for everyone. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to pass this off to Erica. And thank you again Thank You Life for doing all the work that you do. Peace and blessings.
Cheese for us for that opening, for your words, really wanting to support everything you've said, and to add in the need in this renaissance of psychedelics and plant medicines for greater diversity, for greater equity, for greater accessibility, sustainability, and to honor also the original peoples, the indigenous peoples who've held these medicines since the beginning of time. In this great turning, we need to ensure that we're going to pass down this planet to the future generations in a good way. And so part of that is that each one of us is showing up in our full potential to be a part of a new humanity, a better humanity. And so the understanding that individual healing is collective healing. I am honored to offer this prayer. In this moment, you're welcome to have your eyes open or closed as long as your heart is open. Great Spirit, great mystery, gratitude for this brand new day, for one more day to be alive, to receive the beautiful bounty that this generous earth offers us in unconditional love each and every day. Gratitude first and foremost to the original peoples of this land who lived here long before us, the original stewards, and to their descendants who are still here, honoring them, asking you always to be an ally, and asking for their blessings for this gathering tonight. Gratitude for the four winds, the four directions, the four elements, the four stages of life, the four seasons, from the heart of the earth to the heart of the sky, to the heart of the spirit that lies between. Gratitude for the standing people, the trees with their roots in the ground and their branches in the air, reminding us that we too are that connection between earth and sky. Gratitude for all the four-legged creatures, for when they walk on all fours, their hearts are closest to this earth, and they can best feel the heartbeat of this planet, and they know how to live in harmony and balance upon it. We knew this when we were babies and crawled upon this earth, but when we stood up to 2 feet, we distanced our hearts from this planet. And so we need to work a little harder to remember how to live in harmony and balance upon it. Gratitude for all that creeps and crawls and slithers upon this earth. To the mineral world and the mushroom world and the metal world and the plant world, and to all of our sacred waters, our ponds and streams and rivers and lakes and oceans and the springs and the waterfalls, and to all of the beings that live inside of them, asking for forgiveness for all that we have dirtied and sullied and poisoned of our sacred waters, our earth and our air. Gratitude for all the winged ones in the sky, for all of the insects and the tiniest little pollinators, the bees, the butterflies, and the hummingbirds who pollinate the flowers that then become our food and our nourishment, our fruits and nuts and grains and seeds and medicines and vegetables and our trees. And for all the winged ones who sing their songs all throughout the day and even into the night, gratitude for their music, for it brings joy into our lives. And for the highest flying eagles and condors, gratitude to remind us of our freedom and of our ability to see the greater picture of things from a higher perspective in life. Gratitude for the wind nation and the cloud nation and the star nation and the thunder and lightning beings and the moon and the sun that remind us that we are all one here upon this planet. We are all interconnected in this giant web of life. And whatever we do to this web, we do to ourselves, as one indigenous elder said many years ago. And so gratitude for this beautiful symbiosis, life upon this burning ball of fire, earth, air, and water floating in the middle of the cosmos. This is our home. Gratitude for our ancestors lined up behind us on our maternal and paternal sides, going back to the beginning of time. We are the reality of their dreaming. We are the tip of the arrow of our entire ancestral lineage. And so to call upon them in this moment in time, those who've done the work, those who are here with love and kindness and respect and wisdom for us, in this moment of great turning upon this planet, to be in our highest authentic being, to be in the greatest service of humanity, living in harmony and balance upon this planet. Gratitude, Great Spirit, for the greatest gift that we have been given, the gift of life, at this moment in time, in this body, in this incarnation upon this planet, for all my relations. Thank you to each and every one of you for your walk through this life and for all that you did to be here at this moment in time. For all my relations. Thank you. Thank you for the honor to be of service in this way and passing it on.
Good evening, everyone watching us on all of the streaming platforms on social media, from YouTube to LinkedIn to Facebook and anywhere else you might be on this planet. My name is Jamar John Johnson, and I will be your MC for this evening. First and foremost, I want to thank Erica for that amazing prayer and ceremony to open up this amazing evening. And I would love to thank everyone on the staff of thankyoulife.org for all that you've done to give opportunities for healing throughout this nation. And we've got a lot of things to cover tonight, but we want you to take a moment to think about where you are in your life. Take a moment to think about the things that you've overcome to become the person that you are today. The trials and the tribulations, everything combined makes up the fabrics of your spirit. And for those of you who decided to join us today, you know that one of the greatest gifts that you can give is the opportunity to help someone else go through their healing journey. And that is what Thank You Life is all about. Now, a few months ago, we did our private launch, and we had such an amazing reception from everyone who attended that private stream. And we wanted to really make sure that we connected with people online, virtually, to let you know a little bit more about what we do so you can see how you can play a role in ensuring that healing is spread with equity. And the power of psychedelics are coming to the forefront. And so some of you might be curious and some of you might be experienced. And we want to create a community of people, like-minded people, who come together with love in their hearts to make opportunities for those who might not be able to afford it. And so before we get started with this evening, I would love to share with you my personal journey with psychedelics and their healing properties. Now, I've spent 14 years in the military, in both the Marine Corps and the Navy. Second generation, actually. My father was a Marine, my uncle was a Marine, and they dealt with a lot of adversity, as you can imagine. This was during the Vietnam era. Now, knowing what they had to overcome, I still had the focus of joining the military because I wanted to prove my place in the family tree line. I didn't know what I was going to be up against, but I knew that because of my upbringing and the things that I overcome as a child, that I had what it took. And so I put myself to the test. Now, lo and behold, the trials and tribulations that I faced, some of which were losing shipmates when I was in the Navy, some of which were finding out that my youngest brother was incarcerated while I was gone, and I felt guilty about that. I started to actually tap into therapy and counseling and services. Now, it wasn't until years later that I discovered that I had PTSD, not just from my military service, but from my childhood. Now, at the time, besides cognitive behavioral therapy, the only real solution that they offered was to give me medication. Now, my mother, she has struggled with drug addiction for much of her life, but I'm proud to say that she's going on 31 years clean of her addiction. And in going through that journey, I've seen how she struggles with these medications. Now, we're not here to tell people what they should or shouldn't do, but we want to provide solutions and opportunities. It wouldn't be until almost a decade after my military service that I'd done enough research about psychedelic medicines and treatments, and I spoke to enough people and friends who had tried it and gotten their experience that I felt comfortable enough taking the journey. Think about all the veterans that might have the same types of suffering and PTSD, depression, and anxiety that I had, but perhaps they didn't make it 10 years after their service. Some of you may or may not know, but 22 veterans commit suicide every single day in this country. Now, I was trying hard to not become one of those statistics. And so I was willing to try anything to get some peace of mind. It was a fateful day in the Solstice Hills of Malibu, California, where a friend of mine guided three other people on a nice light hiking journey with some psychedelics. And I had such an incredible healing experience, one that I can remember vividly. And it's something that I felt like more people should have the opportunity to partake in. And so a few months ago, when I had the opportunity to learn about thankyoulife.org and have the opportunity to work with them to spread the message, this was just something I felt that was divine timing and I could not resist. I just want to say that as a 43-year-old man, I can tell you that in using psychedelics, it has had a positive impact on my mental health, my outlook for the future, and my hope for humanity. And so being a part of this nonprofit is not only a personal thing for me, but it's a part of a crusade and a mission to ensure that equity for healing is available and abundant to all. So thank you so much for listening to my opening monologue. I'm excited for all of the different speakers that we have for you today. And I want to give a special thanks to everyone online. And in fact, for the next 50 people who make a monthly donation, you can text the number on screen. Text Thank You Life to the number on screen, 53555. And we're going to give away 50 Thank You Life t-shirts to each and every single one of you for showing up and for spreading the word about Thank You Life. Now, any amount counts, whether it's 5, 10, 20, give what you can give. But more importantly, the things you learned today, I want you to go out into the world and share that with other people so that they can learn about how Thank You Life can impact their community and those who are in the greatest of needs of help. And so support Thank You Life with a monthly donation. It will sustain us in every way in supporting this mission, healing for all to give. So at this point, I would love to bring the next speaker to the virtual stage. Now, Wilhelmina Del Castro is a clinical social worker, and she's also an integrative therapist that is a part of the Thank You Life board, staff, and team. She's worked with hundreds of people in California and over the world in meeting their therapeutic goals. Now, her work specializes in the areas of anxiety, depression, trauma, and life transitions, especially in the queer and BIPOC communities. So without further ado, please welcome Wilhelmina Del Castro.
Greetings, everyone. Today I stand before you as a queer Filipina and a proud member of a larger community that has faced countless struggles throughout history and continues to face them today. It's within these adversities that I have found strength, resilience, and the determination to create a world where all individuals, regardless of the intersections of their identities, can access the transformative power of psychedelic medicine. These medicines have been a powerful catalyst of healing in my own life. It's allowed me to reclaim my power, embrace my queerness, love the skin I'm in, and navigate the harms of this complex and often oppressive world. But beyond my own story, I recognize that access to these medicines is not readily available to all. At this point in history, it's a privilege that only few can afford. The inaccessibility is a significant barrier to true collective liberation. However, there's hope. Thank You Life is leading the charge to eliminate financial barriers to psychedelic medicine. Their dedication to access and health equity is truly inspiring. And it's with great honor that I've joined their board. Together with Thank You Life, I'm driven to make a lasting impact. Despite this inspiration and dedication shared amongst many of us, there still is this question: how can we create collective and accessible healing? In my own work, I found that group medicine journeys and retreats are powerful openings to this healing. I'd like to share a bit of this experience with you.
that shines so bright, and it gives so much light, and it comes right from the sky above. Makes me feel so free, makes me feel like me, yeah, and it lights my life with love, and it seems like, and it feels like, and it seems like, oh yes, it feels like, well, a brand new day, a brand new day, yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
These sacred spaces provide a deep sense of community where individuals can embark on their transformative inner journeys while witnessing one another and uplifting one another. With Thank You Life as a fiscal sponsor, we're starting a group cohort of ketamine-assisted psychotherapy. Ketamine has shown remarkable effectiveness in treating depression and anxiety. It has really unique properties that allow for rapid relief, often when other treatments have failed. Like other psychedelic medicines, ketamine can help shed oppressive narratives perpetuated by the dominant culture, and it enables us to examine our own experiences from new perspectives. In Filipino culture, we have a beautiful concept called bayanihan. This translates to community spirit. It emphasizes the importance of collective action, cooperation, and unity in facing challenges. Bayanihan teaches us that we are stronger together. It's within this framework that we can create a society where psychedelic medicine is accessible to all. To achieve this vision, we must raise awareness about the importance of eliminating financial barriers to psychedelic medicine. I too have committed a monthly contribution to support this important work. Every small act of giving brings us closer to a world where healing is not a luxury, but a birthright for all.
Thank you so much, Wilhelmina. Appreciate those kind and beautiful, powerful words. Now, Thank You Life's co-founder and executive director, Kevin Canella, and board chair, Laura Lucrane, would like to say a few words of welcome to you all.
Oh, Kevin, you're on mute, it looks like. Anyway, thank you, Jamar. Hey, Kevin, can we hear you now? Can everybody hear me?
I think so. Thanks, Shamar. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining us today. We're so excited to be launching Thank You Life to the world. And it seems like we have at least 4 different countries joining us, which is so cool. Yeah, as Jamar said, I'm the co-founder and executive director, and I'm here with Laura, who's the chair of our board of directors. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Kevin. So excited to be here and want to also extend a warm welcome to everyone out there listening. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I think it would be a great place to start, Kevin. I've been inspired by your personal story and your connection with this mission. If you'd share a little bit with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think the piece of my story that I want to share is about a time where I was really the recipient of the generosity of others. And yeah, during my early 20s, I was on a bit of a spiritual quest, and because of that, really had no money to my name. And I was able to participate in a lot of different retreats and medicine ceremonies, medicine experiences, solely because of the generosity of others. A lot of different people leading the retreats and the medicine ceremonies, giving me scholarships, discounts, work trade situations, and all of that really just made my healing possible. And now I feel like I'm at this place where I get to help launch this organization, Thank You Life, to really pay that forward and kind of turn around and give what I have been given myself.
Mm, wonderful. So I wonder if you could say in your own words the vision of Thank You Life and how we are working to fulfill our mission.
Yeah, we have a giant global vision. Our vision is to heal 1 billion people in 50 years. And yeah, that was almost the name of our organization. That was one of the names that we were considering, was Heal 1 Billion. It was really taken place as our vision. Our mission is to bring health equity and access to psychedelics, to this industry, to psychedelic therapy. And we do that by providing financial assistance to people who can't afford psychedelic therapy. We currently work with over 40 ketamine clinics all around the US. And yeah, we give financial assistance to their clients who can't afford this really important work. Yeah, so now we actually have a really special testimonial for you. There was an Air Force veteran that we were able to sponsor to get ketamine-assisted psychotherapy. And he went to see our friend Ektha Agarwal from Shakti Therapy. And yeah, this is a video of him sharing about his experience with Ektha.
Be here with you. So we have been doing ketamine work for some time, and I'm excited for the world to learn how much progress that you have made and what a transformation you've made. So before we start, I'd love for you to just share a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah, it's progress made over a really short period of time. I'm in my early 50s. I'm a Air Force veteran. I got out a long time ago. So, you know, it's been nearly 30 years since I was out of the Air Force. And long before I was in the Air Force, though, I was drinking. Alcohol and anxiety have been a problem for me, even when I was in my teenage years. I didn't understand it at the time. But after I got out of the Air Force, there was a lot of drug use and alcoholism got worse.
What has it been like suffering with alcohol and anxiety, and how long have you been suffering with this for?
Okay, it's been longer, I think, than I realized. But the last a couple of decades, you know, after quitting drugs, the alcohol and anxiety problem have been really bad. Yeah, I've tried a lot of different therapies to quit drinking, and they just haven't worked. I've tried every SSRI and anxiety medication. The only ones that have worked are the ones that cause addiction problems, like benzodiazepines. And so I did a lot of efforts in conventional therapy. Just nothing has ever really worked. I've been in and out of treatment centers, and the ketamine sessions that I've done are the first forms of therapy that I've tried that have had results, and the results have been astounding, rapid and astounding.
So what has it been like now since you've done a few ketamine sessions over the last month and a half?
After doing 3 ketamine sessions, I've gotten you know, so much out of them just related to first going through kind of a process of just understanding ego and stripping away the ego. And in the second ketamine session, there was a healing process that was really made the second session really different from the first. The third session, I came away from it just feeling just really massive potential for change in my life. One of the most unexpected benefits right out of the first session was that I haven't had really any physical anxiety symptoms like I used to have. It's amazing the difference in what I'm able to do in meditation. It's both physically healing, you know, the emotional healing from it has been incredible. The total absence of anxiety symptoms since I started doing ketamine is amazing. I couldn't have done this without Ektha at Shakti Therapy and the assistance of Thank You Life. This kind of stuff would be inaccessible, you know, without the generous assistance that they're offering. And Ektha's ability to, calmly and confidently lead someone like me through this process has been really amazing. I've had a lot of therapists, and qualities like those in a therapist. So I'm really, really thankful to both Shakti Therapy and Thank You Life. It has turned my life around, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin, for sharing that. It's very, very moving. And I imagine that there's many, probably everybody listening today has someone in their life who's suffering debilitating anxiety that could be helped by these modalities.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, Laura, I'd love for the audience to hear a bit about you too. It was kind of a miracle how you came to us, and I'm curious if you could share your story.
Sure. Yeah, I actually found Thank You Life through a Google search. I was really looking for a way to pay forward the healing that I'd experienced with sacred plants and psychedelic medicines. And I was also very aware of my privilege, and that for most people who need and deserve these beautiful modalities, the cost is way beyond reach. And so Thank You Life came up with a Google search, and I was super impressed by the website and the people involved. And I was familiar with the co-founder, Dr. Dan Engel, and have been admiring his work for a while. So I made a small donation, and then I actually called you all and I said, hey, is there anything else that I can do to help you? I have 20 years of board experience, nonprofit leadership. And I said, you need help with your board? And they said, yes. And so here I am, chair of the board, delighted to serve in this capacity. And I imagine that many of you, if not all of you here today on this launch, have received huge benefit from these psychedelic medicines. And, my prayer is that many of you also have the desire and the capacity, even if it's just, $10 or $25 a month, to pay forward the benefits you've received to those who cannot afford these treatments. So I'm asking you to please join me and our family of donors with a gift in any amount that's comfortable for you, so that we can continue our work to sustain our operations and build our psychedelic therapy fund and serve those in need. Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Laura. And that's all the time that we have. Would you introduce the next performer for us?
Yes, I'm delighted. I am so excited to pass the baton to Snow Raven, just an incredible woman, a powerful and unique performer, a shamanic sound maker from Arctic Siberia. Snow Raven, thank you so much for supporting our mission by joining us on this launch. You take it on, Snow Raven.
My name is Sor, Snow Raven. I'm an indigenous Sakha from Arctic Siberia, musician, singer, songwriter, and also a founder of Olox Ecosystem. I'm so thrilled to be here with you, Thank You Live, to share a gift of our ancient ancestors, the ancestors who were so close to the Mother Nature, and coming from the culture which it is still exists to have that intimacy with Mother Nature and to survive in harsh conditions. That's what actually made my people to be strong. And I grew up believing that everything is alive. Every single rock and plant and water and air, everything has a spirit. We call it kutsur. We believe in shamanism, or yunahan. And in shamanism, there are three worlds: lower, the realm of fear; middle world, the realm of love; and higher world, the realm of gratitude. The realm of lower world, we call it Kutal, and it's the energy of survival, and it's very primal. The realm of middle world, Taptal, it's a love, it's a sound of nature. The realm of Mahtal, gratitude, it's a prayer. So holding these three worlds into wholeness, it's very important in my culture. And we believe that sound makes it happen. The sound doesn't have any obstacles. It can go from heart to heart, connecting all of us. And now I would love to share with you a gift of my ancestors, Sakha people. The birth of the universe, playing with one of the ancient instruments, mouth harp, hummus. Let's make healing accessible for everyone. Let's be the best healers and teachers for ourselves. Machtel.
Wow, what an incredible performance. Please, if you're at home, snap your fingers for Snow Raven. That was breathtaking, literally. And now we will hear from Louis Schwartzberg, a renowned filmmaker and visual artist celebrated for his captivating nature documentaries and time-lapse cinematography. Known best for his film, Fantastic Fungi. Please welcome Louis Schwartzberg.
Thank you, Snow Raven. You are a true force of nature's energy. And I also wanted to thank Laura and Meredith. What a privilege it is to be able to share this moment with you. And I want to be able to take a couple of minutes to tell you about a subject that's dear to my heart: gratitude, awe, wonder, psychedelics, and their profound connection. As a filmmaker, I love to take audiences on journeys through time and scale, making the invisible visible and capturing the beauty and the magic of our world. I've witnessed incredible landscapes, delicate moments of connection, and a dance of life unfolding in all its glory. And through my lens, I've really come to understand the power of gratitude, the profound sense of awe and wonder that can fill our hearts and transform our lives. Gratitude is a gateway to a deeper appreciation of here we are in this existence. It's easy to say I'm grateful for the fact that my fingers move, the fact that I'm breathing, and what it does, it stops the negative rumination of what I don't have. When you fill your mind with what you do have, there's little room for what you don't have. And so it's a lens through which we can see the beauty that surrounds us. It's a foundation upon which we can build a life with purpose and fulfillment. But gratitude alone isn't enough. It has to be coupled with awe and wonder, the recognition of the extraordinary in the ordinary, and the celebration of the great mystery and the unknown. I believe that wonder and awe is really the intersection between art and science. And this is really where psychedelics come into play, because psychedelics have been used for centuries across cultures to induce states of heightened perception and consciousness. They can open doors in realms we often neglect or fail to notice, allowing us to experience the interconnectedness of all living things. They can dissolve boundaries between ourselves and each other, reminding us that we are part of a vast, beautiful, intricate of life, just like the mycelial network. But I want to be clear that psychedelics isn't the answer or a panacea or a shortcut to enlightenment. They're powerful tools that require responsible and intentional use. I mean, they demand reverence and respect. And when approached with care, they can be a catalyst for healing and transformation. It's why I'm lending my support to Thank You Life, a remarkable nonprofit organization dedicated to the cause of psychedelic therapy. And they're working tirelessly to expand access to psychedelic healing and to bring these powerful tools to those who need them most, individuals that are suffering from trauma, addiction, depression, and anxiety. The potential for psychedelic assisted therapy to revolutionize mental health is immense, and research has shown promising results in treating conditions that have long eluded conventional treatments. It offers new possibilities for healing and growth, opening doors that once were firmly shut. I'm also excited to say that we just did a clinical trial with the Pacific Neuroscience Institute, combining psychedelics of psilocybin with my imagery of nature, called A Journey Through Nature, in order to feel the connectedness. And the combination of both really helps elevate the experience. And early results, I think, are going to indicate that the combination of nature as medicine with psilocybin is a powerful tool. But you can't take this journey alone. It requires a collective effort, a recognition that we're all connected and responsible for the well-being of each other. It's why I urge you to support the cause of Thank You Life and the expanded access to psychedelic healing. I mean, together we can create a world where individuals are free to explore their own voice, the depth of their own consciousness, where healing isn't a privilege, but a birthright. So in closing, I want you to, embrace gratitude, to cultivate awe and wonder in your daily lives. So thank you, and may gratitude be your gift and guide, and may the spores be with you.
Thank you, Louis. I must tell you a personal thank you, because your documentary was one of the things that I watched along my journey before deciding to make the plunge and the leap. And it is also with deep gratitude for all of you who have become monthly donors. Remember that any amount counts. And we have decided that we're going to give another 20 people who make a monthly donation of at least $10 a free t-shirt from Thank You Life, so you can walk around loud and proud that you stand for equity amongst healing. Your support will be used for good. We're now going to watch a video that shows the powerful potential that ketamine has for healing and why the mission of Thank You Life matters. Enjoy.
Hey, my name's Bianca. Thank you for having me here today. I've been doing psychedelic assisted therapy since August of 2022 and working with Wilhelmina specifically as my therapist since January of 2022. I was formally diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder in 2016 and have been treated for some combination of depression and anxiety since I can remember, honestly. Having access to ketamine therapy that's not just affordable, but rooted in community has been really life-changing for me. As a woman of color, a queer woman, and a daughter of an immigrant, practitioners, psychiatric care has not always been helpful or even safe. We know that psychiatric services have ableist, sanist, and even carceral histories. So the work that Thank You Life is doing to make this care not just affordable, but also to have practitioners like Wilhelmina be available, who she's really taking the time to make sure the way that we're getting this care is safe, it's culturally specific, and has community support, is really life-changing. So thank you for all the work that you're doing, and I can't wait for more people to have access to this.
Thank you for that incredible testimony. Now, I am honored to introduce Dr. Julie Holland, a psychiatrist and psychopharmacologist, and author of 5 books, including her latest, The Science of Connection, that I highly recommend. She's a strong advocate for the appropriate use of consciousness expanding substances as a part of mental health treatment. Please welcome Dr. Julie Holland. And so I just received word, so she's having some technical difficulties. And so hopefully we can get a recording of her out to everyone who's here in attendance. And what I'm going to do now is move on to our next speaker, which is Daniel. It's now an honor to introduce Daniel Carcillo. Daniel is a former National Hockey League champion and a champion of psilocybin to treat traumatic brain injury. He is also the founder of a company called Wesana. Wesana is pioneering drug development and clinical therapies using psychedelic medicine for mental health care. Please welcome Daniel.
Thanks for having me, Jamar. Thank you to everybody at Thank You Life, Meredith, and obviously Dr. Dan Engel. You know that you were a big part of helping to save my life almost 4 years ago now. So thank you for doing this. Daniel Carcillo, I played 10 years professional hockey in the NHL. I fought 164 times. And I was lucky enough to win 2 Stanley Cups, but I also had 7 diagnosed traumatic brain injuries. When I left the league, I was a shell of myself. I was dealing with mild dementia symptoms. I was dealing with slurred speech, headache, head pressure, insomnia, impulse control issues, appetite loss, short-term, long-term memory loss, on top of anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation. For the first 4 years, when I retired in 2015, I went through the medical system and I was being prescribed pharmaceuticals for my depression, different types of pills for my anxiety. When that didn't work for about 2 or 3 years, I chose to go down a more holistic path. I started to go to stroke rehabilitation centers, diagnostics, listening to really smart doctors, into understanding how this could have happened to me and then how I could fix it. And I also incorporated things like float tanks, hyperbaric chamber, Mox acupuncture, cranial sacral, changing my diet, hormone therapy, peptides, ketones, etc. So I was pretty much a guinea pig for everything that I thought could have helped me. And then I was using my platform to advocate for those things that either helped or didn't, because they could provide hope to somebody else. Unfortunately, I did become hopeless. In 2019, I started to make plans to unburden my family and take my own life. And it wasn't then until a former teammate reached out, noticed that I was suffering, and invited me to Denver. Happened to be a decriminalized city at the time for psilocybin specifically, and he thought that could really help me. So I took the invitation. I also read up on psilocybin. I saw a study under fMRI where the brain connectivity was something that I'd never seen before, and it correlated to what the doctors were telling me they could do in the stroke rehabilitation centers, which is basically wake up my right and left brain hemispheres and bring me back to life, on top of all of the spiritual things that spiritual benefits that I got. So I went to Denver, and it was by far the hardest 3 hours of my life. I think there's a little bit of a misconception that this work is easy. And the ceremony, because I was suicidal, it exasperated those thoughts. And basically this medicine, the best way I describe it is it puts a mirror in front of you, and you're forced to look at it. And that's why we partake in these higher doses with assistance, obviously, and somebody there. The next morning, I describe my feeling as feeling the way I should. I moved away at 15 years old to go play hockey, and I started to feel like myself again. I felt more connected to myself, my family. My brain felt better, less brain fog, brain fatigue. These symptoms all but faded away within a 2-week period, and then dissipated over the next 6 months. I tested my brain and my blood before I left, and then just because I knew how heavily stigmatized these substances are, so I felt like I needed something else to back up my story, and hopefully it would work. I didn't know if it would. But 6 months in, I got clear brain scans with no abnormalities, and my blood work was completely clear. So then I started to think about how to use my platform and use this new lease on life for the better. Instead of highlighting what was wrong with the NHL and the concussion protocols, I started to create companies, and I started to use my platform to advocate for decriminalized nature, the movement that Carlos and Larry put together. I helped Melissa Lavasani, Jesse Gould, a few other veterans with Initiative 81 in Washington, D.C., get some substances decriminalized. And that was really impactful work. And although I believe in that pathway, I also wanted to try to create a pharmaceutical, the first ever for a traumatic brain injury related symptom. So I patented the method of use that I used to get myself better. And then I created a company, put together a team of drug developers. And this was really speared on by the support of Rick Doblin and a few others in MAPS, and started to go down the FDA pathway, communicated with them last March. So I'm really proud of everything that we've been able to do to date, and we'll continue on with that mission, because I do believe people are going to want to go to their doctor to get a prescription for this. And who are we to say that that's not right? And so I also work on policy work with a few congressional briefings done with Melissa Lavasani of the Psychedelic Medicine Coalition. I work really hard on just 3 points of access that I believe we should all have access to our own consciousness and these medicines done in a constructive and responsible way. I believe that doctors and some people are going to want to access it, like my parents that only take advice from the traditional doctor route. And yeah, I also believe that in Measure 109, as well as Prop 122, these adult therapeutic use states that are being set up. So I'm Switzerland, and I try to highlight them all. And again, I wouldn't be here without the help and support of Dr. Dan. And I encourage everybody to not only donate like I am. I've become a monthly donor to Thank You Life, but also just get ingrained in the community and really try to support a lot of veteran organizations. I'm going to name two, and it's No Fallen Heroes and Matthew Wiz Buckley, as well as Heroic Hearts Project, helping to connect veterans with psychedelic assisted therapy. So yeah, thank you again, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for that incredible testimony, your support of all the organizations, and the way you're spearheading and leading the charge, because you've actually experienced this. Now, I've been told that all of you have actually been coming on really strong tonight, and your support for mental health equity is greatly appreciated as we expand access to psychedelic therapy. So thank you so much. We really want to keep this incentive going. So please continue to give. Text the number on the screen. Text Thank You Life to 53555. And the next 20 of at least $10 or more of monthly contributions will receive a t-shirt, because we want you to wear this shirt out in the public and start opening up dialogues and conversations. This is a grassroots community fundraising effort at its finest. And now I'm proud to introduce one of our next performers, a musician simply known as Q, whose violin is simply amazing. Now, he's a violinist and multi-instrument player, and Q has created a modern root sound that is a musical extension of his American, Mexican, and Brazilian heritage. So please sit back and enjoy Q's music.
Greetings, my name is Q Violin, and I'm here to show my appreciation for Thank You Life, a psychedelic therapy fund, and for providing a pathway for healing for those in need. I myself have benefited immensely from my various journeys in psychedelic therapy. So I'd like to offer a song to celebrate the potential and hopes that many more get to experience this beautiful and magical journey of psychedelics. There'll be no endless walks into the sunset, no more laying you down and putting you to rest. My weary face and hands will curl into distress. Our lives will slowly vanish till there's nothing left. Now you're inside of my soul. Past all my days of old, you will remain every part of me. And if you will allow the same to come about, we can live for all eternity. Our love will live for all eternity. There'll come a day when I can say I want you. There'll come a time when I will find nothing new. All of the endless nights of saying I love you will start to shrivel and decay into the blue. Now you're inside of my soul. Past all my days of old, you will remain every part of me. And if you will allow the same to come about, we can live for all eternity. Our love will live for all eternity. Our love will live for all eternity. Now you're inside of my soul. Past all my days of old, you will remain every part of me. And if you will allow the same to come about, we can live for all eternity. Our love will live for all eternity. Our love will live for all eternity.
Thank you so much, Q Violin, for that incredible song. Let us all live for eternity as we are all connected. Dr. Harry Grammer is a social entrepreneur and educator who has founded and led numerous initiatives focused on empowering youth and underserved communities through arts, mentorship, and educational programs, making a significant impact in the field of youth development and social justice. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Harry Grammer.
Here on a floating blue ball in space, where health is debated, breath gets stagnated, minds placated while souls are rated. The show has begun. The web is spun. We are spinning, spinning, spinning in the ceremony of the Great Awakening, where all that matters is the connection of fine fibers, connecting writers through super cyber poetics, sequencing through prophetic genetics with beautiful aesthetics, taking us back to sacred geometric fractals that are holier than macro, where shackles have no voice. So now, know that we are the I am, the I, you, we, one. This coming of a new age of healing is up to us, all of us, and it cannot and will not be possible any other way. Now let that sink in, because the gods are watching, standing in the mirror and calling us them, like Atreyu. Remember that? Yeah? Merci beaucoup. It is up to us, all of us, to come together in formation, to share information with those who have been lured from the well, those working beyond 9 to 5, simply just trying to stay alive, those banned from returning here to their homeland, severed ties, supported by red, white, and blue lies. Don't forget those born without bootstraps. Go ahead, boost them up on your back, pull them out of the mud, give them a hug, let them know we got them. Earth's medicine is for Earth's people. Nobody gets left behind. And it's up to us, all of us, everyone included, when they are ready. We just have to hold steady in this Panopticon, we hold the kaleidoscope. Pioneers of the evolution, we provide a dose of hope. In harmony, we sing an ikaro, a magic song we sing. We activate the celestial and primordial grids, and from that, a new earth we bring. So I say to all my relations, with no beings excluded, we are the I am, the I-O-U, we one. The I, you, we one. The I, you, we one. You see, it's important to remember that the psychedelic and earth medicines will be hitting our mainstream soon. And that is important for us to remember that we have to steward the door open, ensuring that it is stretched wide open for those who get systematically and financially excluded from all the things that eases one's burden on this arduous journey of life. And it's our responsibility to hold open the door for those who just won't be able to have the benefit and the beauty of this unless there's advocates like you and me out there that are making sure the door stays open. And Thank You Life gives that gift of access by removing financial barriers and by healing traumatic barriers that interrupt their full becoming of their potential. In removing those barriers, they can then assimilate into their soul's purpose and discover their story. So Thank You Life holds a real special place in the hearts of my wife, Yana, and I. From the inception of the fund, we stood behind it. Our nonprofit, New Earth, enthusiastically sponsored Thank You Life during its revving up stage. And we've always believed in the power of the medicine and its potential to radically shift the way we humans relate. So access is absolutely paramount in these efforts. And we've seen the power that this provides, this access provides for the young people in our organization. Some young people in our organization have received treatment with Thank You Life through partnering clinics. So I encourage everyone on this call to become a monthly sponsor. Like I said a moment ago, it takes all of us. It takes all of us. I also have the distinct privilege to be the one to introduce the profound visionary, a man who is a near dear brother of mine on this journey, who without him, we'd not be here. He opened the door for many of us and brought us home. And, you know, I think he's made this work his life's work, and also his life's work to ensure that there's access for us all. The epic work that he's done with me, the profound work that he's done on himself speaks magnitudes to his wisdom and his giving heart. And I just love this man and for what he brings to the world and to this work. So without any further ado, it is my deep pleasure to introduce you all to Dr. Dan Engel.
Harry Grammer.
Dan the man.
So good to see you, man. I love you so much. Love that smile. I want to give gratitude for you. Thank you to New Earth for, like you mentioned, just getting on the train straight away and supporting us in the early stages. Thank you for your walk too, brother. And want to give gratitude for all the people on today. The blessings, the songs, the invocations, the testimonials. We're doing this together. You know, this is a shared mission. It's a shared privilege. Oftentimes I speak about the experiences that we are blessed to have in the medicine space when it helps, like you said, bring us home. Brings us home to our beauty, our greatness, our glory, what we might call our divinity. And from that place, we can really have that thank you life moment, like thank you life, thank you for my life. And that was the inception of our organization. I happen to have the privilege of supporting someone in their healing journey. And in the midst of a deep experience, he's super in. He pops up, takes his goggles off, says, "You need to start a nonprofit."
so everybody can have access to this kind of medicine. And then he puts his goggles back on, goes back in. It was like something just channeled from him, and it was this directive. And in that moment, I knew he was right. I'd never had any experience in nonprofit work. At that point, to your point, Harry, I was already deep in the medicine space. I've given the last 20 years of my life to the medicine path, and I'll give the remaining however many years I'm blessed to be in this one body. It's the most sacred work that I know of on the planet.
And we give you thanks, Dan. We give you thanks for that, and we give you love for sharing your wisdom and your heart with all of us, man. And I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna get off camera because this is a moment that I feel like I need to exit stage left and give you a moment to just talk about, you know, how this has become what it is today. And I love you, and I'll catch up with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Harry. Totally, brother. Yeah, you know, we're at such a phenomenal inflection point in human history. It's a time of challenge. It's a time of crisis. And maybe in some way it always has been. You know, being in a monkey suit, being in this human body is not always easy, as we know. And there's a lot of collective challenge and pressure that's happening globally. And pressure stimulates change. One of my heroines and sheroes, Barbara Marx Hubbard, was always fond of saying crisis precedes transformation every time. And I want to thank my Thank You Life team. You know, to Jamar's point, our team has been working tirelessly to get us off the ground. I'm excited about our trajectory. And one of our team members, Ronnie, particularly was, you know, kind of the genius in putting our logo in the form of dragonfly. And by not so happenstance, coincidence, right? Everything comes up on the way to the ceremony. This is one collective ceremony. Our launch is a ceremony. Life is a ceremony. Yesterday, my lady Sonia and I were listening to a talk, and a guy gave a really good description of the process of transformation that is the life of the dragonfly. And it's very much similar to the life of the butterfly. It goes through this transformational process, right? The butterfly goes from a caterpillar to this cocoon stage in this liminal space, and then comes out a butterfly, totally transformed. Dragonflies do a very similar thing. And it's, in some ways we could say, I mean, you know, nature is not in competition for the prettiest and the smartest or the best, you know. I mean, that kind of like Darwinian view of competition is really only a narrow sliver of the whole truth, because nature works in harmony. Nature works for the continued evolution of more life. And so I won't necessarily say that the dragonfly's experience or transformation is better than the butterflies, but it has an aspect that I wasn't totally appreciative of, that the majority of the dragonfly's life is spent underwater as a nymph. And then there is a shift that happens. Now, in the process of the butterfly, we have coined that the cells of transformation, these cells of awakening, these imaginal cells come online and tell the caterpillar to start molting into a cocoon, because that's its natural trajectory. The nymph does the same thing when it's underwater. It just knows that its time for transformation is here, and it latches on to the nearest little stalk of grass, climbs out of the water, and then by being basked in the light and the heat of the sun, it shrinks and dries its shell, and it launches out in the form of a butterfly. So not only now does it have wings and it can fly like it's never known before, it actually goes from underwater to above water. And I think that's very seminal and very characteristic of what's happening here in our time. We are going through a phase shift in human history, undoubtedly. You can look at every institution going through massive change right now, and it's an exciting time. And this is the time where we are being called to advance and evolve our consciousness. And there's no more powerful way to do that than our own deep work of loosening and shedding all of the old armor and the old programs and the old traumas and the old experiences that do not serve us and that are in the way of remembering our own, what I would call divinity, our own greatness, our own beauty. That's what we're here for, and that's what the medicine work is about. And so where we are as an organization, where we're going, is we're going to continue to support expanded access. And that's the major thrust of our organization. And we're the first singularly focused psychedelic therapy fund. We're also going to support the increased access and expansion of the medicines that we're working with and that are available. Principally, psilocybin is going to come online soon legally, and MDMA therapy is going to come online soon legally. And then we're also going to support the expansion of our community. And so many people today in our launch have spoken about the power of community. There's this dearth of connection, especially post-COVID. And to heal that experience of isolation, bring people back into an experience of belonging, community is the number one orientation for that. And all traditional cultures have traditionally used medicine work in community, not just in isolation. So that's where we're heading as an organization. We're also expanding our research arm to support the trajectory of a person's healing process, what I call the healed human impact. We want to check 1 year, 5 year, 10-year markers of how a person's living, their sense of fulfillment, their sense of reciprocity, give back, their appreciation of their gift and bringing that online in service to the collective. And the field is also expanding, and it's expanding exponentially. Right now, we have, in this current iteration of the psychedelic renaissance, we have an experience of novelty. Everybody's getting super excited about psychedelic therapy, which is good. We want to bang the drum. We want to create greater decriminalization, like Daniel mentioned. We want to create greater legalization. So through novelty will come alchemy to understand how to use these medicines even better. And in the context of having multiple medicines in the toolkit, how do you decide which medicine is the right one to use for which person in the midst of the healing they're going through and in the midst of everything that they're in the midst of in evolving their lives. So that's the alchemy of understanding medicine work. And then eventually we're going to get to this experience where we appreciate ultimately that the medicine path is just the journey, right? The destination is that reclamation of our grace, of our divinity, of our greatness, and of the experience of being so charged and filled with life that we just naturally want to give back. So when we come into that experience of feeling so grateful for our lives, we naturally want to give back. And most of you on this call have probably had some experience in the medicine space, and you probably want to give back. So thank you for being a part of our organization. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all the great forces that have supported our coming together. We feel excited about our trajectory, and we're hoping that you're going to continue to join us on the path. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Jamar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dan, for that incredible share. We are very grateful for you and all the work that you have put into making this moment possible. Now, we will hear from another person who has benefited from the Thank You Life Fund and who shares about her personal transformational journey and the impact of psychedelic therapy on her life.
Before starting ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, my life looked really good from the outside, but on the inside I was struggling with so much. I went to bed anxious, depressed, dreading the next day, and I was relapsing really hard into my eating disorder. During treatment though, things felt like they really shifted. I gained new perspectives on life, myself, my relationships with friends and family. It really just felt like everything shifted in a way that I had been unable to do before. And after treatment, my life feels so stable right now. I feel as solid in my eating disorder recovery as I ever have before, and I have a hopeful outlook for the future. It really just feels like things did a complete 180 in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. I want to say thank you to all the donors that made this possible for me. It truly would not have been feasible without you and your help. I want to say thank you just for being willing to donate to this cause and help make this happen for me. You've truly helped change my life for the better, and I could not say thank you enough.
Witnessing transformation is just absolutely incredible. Coming up next, Caitlin Howe is a poet and transformational coach. Will now share a poem and reflection about the benefits of psychedelic therapy. Please welcome Caitlin.
Psychedelics saved my life. Not just once or twice, but every time I sat down with my heart's intention to understand the truth of my own nature. And all of the insights in between those interventions, I could not do it on my own. Even though my own nature knows just what to do to heal. Because the nature of nature is that it knows just what to do, whether that's through subtle hints in the body's vast intelligence, or the scientific intervention of new chemistry born through us by her creation, in collaboration with the psyche, or the pure lifeblood of leaf or vine, revealing in time the meaning of life and all of its deaths, putting grievances to rest with gratitude. And of course it's true that we are nature. But what the mind does is cling to stories that don't trust the process. So we discard it and build up constructs of protection that decimate the flow of what our souls and bodies know, building up walls of protection that block off our bridges for connection. Psychedelics reunite this separation, heaven to earth, essence to worth, heart to heart, and hand in hand. We cannot do it on our own. You see, nature knows just what to do, but we live in a world that thinks it knows better, is more clever than the wisdom of regeneration. We need a quantum leap of restoration, and there is a difference between medicine and medication, anesthesia and relief, freedom and escape, hope and belief. We need good medicine again. And sometimes that can just be a friend who helps us find the way. We need our brothers and sisters as loving guides out of the dark night, mentors of all kinds who can teach us how to fight without violence, to seek evidence of what's good in life, to write a new story that can replace the diagnosis with a gnosis of our truest nature, because nature knows just what to do to grow anew. We cannot do it on our own. So let's shatter these walls of what's mine and theirs, remind each other that we care, share resources and remedies with those in need, and help each other come back home. Because I know I'm not alone when I say thank you, life, for psychedelic therapy, and every friend, culture, and generation who made it possible for me. Hi guys, I'm Caitlin Howe, poet, transformational coach, and advocate for psychedelic therapy, because it really has saved my life. It really, really has. It has changed my entire worldview. It has helped me heal from things that I never could have otherwise. And I love what this mission is all about at Thank You Life, because so many people don't even know that it's possible for them. So many people learn about it and then still feel like there's no way I can do that, because it still costs a lot. It's still hard to get really good care. And this team has put together an extraordinary program that is really going to make these healing modalities possible for so many people that couldn't receive it otherwise. So I hope that this poem that I shared today, which was so easy to write because it is truly written from the heart, and there's just endless words I could speak to my gratitude for psychedelic therapy, but I hope that it has touched you in such a way that you will join us in this mission to make psychedelic therapy possible for so many more people who wouldn't be able to receive help otherwise.
Thank you, Caitlin, for that incredible poem and sharing your reflection. I want to thank everyone across the world. I believe last we checked, we have 4 countries in attendance with hundreds of people here learning about the message of Thank You Life. I want to thank you for your attention, for your intention, and I hope that what you take from today is how much we are passionate and care about making healing equitable. The best thing that you can do today is share this message with someone you know, someone perhaps in need, that there is hope and it is on the way. I want to thank all of the speakers and the Thank You Life team who are behind the scenes working day and night for months to make sure that this launch could happen. And I just want to once again highlight what an incredible night for us to come together, while be it thousands and hundreds of miles away, digitally connected for a purpose that is both heartwarming, and it is such an incredible honor to be a part of this collective effort to bring psychedelic healing for all. Thank you for showing up and showing out. And now, as we close out this beautiful evening together, it is our hope that you are moved and inspired by all that you took in during this last hour and a half. I'm honored to introduce our final musician, Porengi, who is a multi-talented musician, composer, and ceremonial artist. Revered for his fusion of indigenous sounds and electronic music and soulful vocals, without further ado, please welcome and thank you for coming, Porengi.
Well, it is. My name is Porengi, and it's an honor to be with you here today in this way. I'd like to make an offering here and just share a little bit. I'm super grateful for my brother, Dr. Dan, for what he's been creating, what he's been working with. I think this nonprofit is truly remarkable and so important at this time. Thank You Life is bringing an ability to open up a portal that is really the right of every human being to experience. And as we already seeing with this big psychedelic movement that's happening, which is truly a blessing and a renaissance, it's also a lot of what is out there is actually making it very exclusive and not possible for many to be able to access. So I can't express enough the gratitude I feel and the honor to be Dr. Dan's brother and support this nonprofit. So I'd like to just offer in that vein, and giving thanks to all of the presenters here from today, a prayer of song, and to connect back to this amazing place we call Mother Earth, and to your hearts out there. So thank you all for being here with me, and please receive this from my heart to yours. Thank you. Tlasukamati. Bless your lives out there. And I'll be thinking of you all and praising you all for your efforts and supporting this and supporting the prayer that all of the bounty of our beautiful Mother Earth, it's here for all of us. And we all need it. It's the only way that we all heal. It's the only way that we mend the hoop of life together with everyone sitting at the circle. So thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Aho.
China.